Five, four, three, two.
Coming to you from the poorly painted studios in Cumming, Georgia, this is the Chuck and Z Show. And now, here's Chuck and Z.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Chuck and Z Show. Of course, I'm Chuck.
And I'm Z.
And with us, as always, is producer Chaos.
Hi.
Miss Sharon Clyde.
That threw me off a little bit, but we're doing great.
You know what? I think I could be a certified IT technician.
You really could.
All you got to do is just restart.
Did you click the on and off button? Here's $500.
Isn't it hilarious how that works? Like whenever you have a problem with your computer, the first thing they go is, okay, find the power button.
Did you turn it on? I know.
And then the next thing is, now uninstall. Hey, if I wanted to do that, I wouldn't have called you. I was trying to fix it without having to do all of that.
I have heard that there are IT people that Google how to fix things while they're on the phone with people.
I'm sure they do.
Oh, so they're not as smart as they appear. Objects in mirror.
Or not as smart objects in mirror, or not as smart as they appear. I like that, actually. I think that I'm gonna get that put on a mirror. I think that's a shirt.
Holy cow.
That's a shirt.
It is a shirt.
Oh shit. Chuck and Z on the back of it. Objects in my mirrors are not as smart as they appear. Yeah.
Oh my.
In rear view? Oh.
Yeah.
Quick, do it before someone's watching it.
Hey, look, that is taken
Copyrighted.
officially. Heard it first here on Chuck and Z.
I know.
Flawless LLC 2024.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys got the other link because obviously we had some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I have to go back in and fix this, but for whatever reason, it just restarted on us.
Yeah.
But all good. It happens.
It does happen.
So I guess we need to go ahead and jump into the disappointment of last night.
Your boys lost, man.
Now they're my boys.
Not yours.
I'm not claiming losers.
What?
Just kidding.
Oh,
That was a
man.
really good game. Like it kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. It wasn't boring. It
No.
was super defensive. But we had, the 49ers had some mistakes, some errors, early on, pretty much in the first drive.
Yeah, I struggled to go so far as to call it a good game when we
Right.
lose.
I know,
When my
but
team
it was
loses.
entertaining.
But it was a tight, closely fought game.
yes.
Chiefs, score when they needed to. There were a couple of calls that I thought were pretty questionable on our side that I wish they wouldn't have. I wish they would have called different plays.
Mm-hmm.
I got a cough.
Okay.
So yeah, close game. Went into overtime, as you all know. And did you check out any of the commercials or trailers?
I was at the Battery, which is in downtown Atlanta, and on the big screen they show the game, but during the commercials they would just show the crowd. So I never actually
that's
watched
right.
any of the commercials. What did you like?
I didn't think the commercials were that good this year.
Yeah.
It was all kind of bland,
What commercial?
safe.
I heard the Etsy commercial was good. I heard that on WSB this morning when I was listening to the radio. Do you remember that one?
Doesn't ring a bell.
It's like someone was like, damn, that's a good gift. And then it was all about like some Etsy gifting or
I
something.
think I
Oh yeah,
slightly remember
I
it.
think I kind of remember. I guess it didn't stick.
Yeah, really? That says a lot.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, the only one that really stuck was the one that was the controversial one, but I don't care.
What was the controversial one?
Where it was showing. So it's an interesting thing that's happening right now. There's a rift within the online Christian community.
Okay.
Right? And it is, how can you be Christian and support Trump? Real Christians don't support rapists. That's what real Christians don't support, animal, whatever. Again, I'm not endorsing what they're saying. I really don't have a dog in the fight. I don't care.
Fair enough.
But and then the other side of Christians are saying that's, he wasn't convicted. It's just like this whole attacking a certain segment of Christians saying they're not real Christians because they're Trump supporters, right? And then this commercial is kind of nailing that, in that it's, Jesus, didn't whatever, he washed people's feet. And it's a bunch of different types of people washing people's feet in different scenarios. Like one time, it's a girl sitting in front of Planned Parenthood, and there's someone on their knees washing.
Oh, are you
their
serious?
feet.
Dang.
It's an interesting thing, because I've always hated that symbolism. I've always hated that kind of idolatry worship, and it's an interesting thing for me to see a certain segment of what I would normally consider to be more left-leaning folks leaning into the Christian aspect, because that's not typically what they would do. And so it's less about, for me, it seems disingenuous, because it's less about the actual concept of the commercial, where they're saying, hey, be more kind or whatever, versus a high-level troll. That's kind of what it felt like to me. And clearly that side's engaging in that kind of stuff. I mean, after, the conspiracy about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, or whatever his name is, about how they're trying to get them to win the Super Bowl. He's backed by Pfizer, and he's a vaccine guy, and she's going to endorse Biden, and so they want him, all this stuff, whatever. You got to go pretty far on that one. Now, do I think she's being pushed right now? Yeah, they're trying to make money. It's the marketing machine. She's got an album, right? Doesn't she have an album coming out and all this stuff?
I don't know.
Something like that?
Well, the people behind us at our table at the Battery, every time she was shown, they would count, like, on their fingers and say, oh, 5 times, 6 times.
Don't get me wrong. It's gross. It's grotesque. But I don't think it's some big left-wing Biden. Biden can barely put his pants on. I don't think he's the mastermind of some vast left-wing conspiracy to get the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. I just don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could be wrong. I mean, Alex Jones has proved me. I've heard Alex Jones say things in the past, and I'll be like, that's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Next thing you know, it's like, it's actually true. So you're like, dang, who knows? Maybe it's true. But if it is, it's the silliest one. I really don't care that much about it. Anyways, so there's this big online conspiracy about that. And after they won, Biden posted a picture of him with these glowing red eyes saying, just as we planned, or something like that.
Oh, no.
So they're into that high level troll stuff now, which, again, if he were a entertainer, that wouldn't bother me. But he's the president of the United States. Can you be above this? I mean, because when you do that kind of troll, what you're kind of doing is you're flipping the middle finger to a very large segment of the population, and you're supposed to be the president for all. You said you were going to be everyone's president, but yet you constantly attack one segment of the population. It's just, both sides are like that.
I have a question for you. What did you think about the fact that he didn't speak at the Super Bowl last night? Some
What do I think about
theorists believed it's because he is not capable.
He's not.
Okay.
He's not.
I was just curious your opinion. If
He's
that's
not.
what you agreed to.
Can you? All right. So real quick, my grandfather was incredibly impactful in my life, and
He's a preacher, right?
He was a Southern Baptist preacher for 32 years. One of the best orators I've ever seen. The man could just captivate a room of 80, right? Just people just in and hooting and hollering. He was a hellfire and brimstone preacher, sharp as a tack. Could remember everything that he ever did in the war with detail. Such a good storyteller. He died of Alzheimer's. Well, technically congenital heart failure, but he had Alzheimer's whenever he died. I went from watching this man be one of the strongest, sharpest men I've ever seen to pooping himself and not knowing what that was, right? And having to have other people literally take care of him as if he was a newborn baby. And when I would talk to him, every now and then he would snap in and he would look at you and you would know that's Grandpa. And you'd get to talk to him for 5 or 6 minutes. A lot of it was sadness. He was very sad. Like he wanted to, hey, you know, I don't know how long I've got. You know, tell me what's going on. Talk to him. And then he would just drift. And when you would see him drift, you just see that look, just lost. You ever had that moment?
So weird.
You ever had that moment where you were like saying you forgot what it was? And you're like, imagine that is just how you kind of operate. That's the norm. And then you have moments of clarity. That's what Alzheimer's is. And when I watch that man talk, whenever his cadence, the way he walks, the way he talks, everything, he just strikes me as someone who's suffering from dementia. And it's understandable. He is how old?
80. He's in his 80s.
Right. He's had severe brain problems in the past. He had didn't he have aneurysm? Had to have brain clips? Had to have his top of his head taken off. It's understandable that the man is senile. It's understandable that he's, because of his age, advanced age, and who he is. What's not understandable is that he's the president. That doesn't make sense. And I think, I honestly, if this were a normal society, it would be a crime what they're doing to that old man. It really would be. And I think it would be a crime that anyone who's in that organization, I don't care, Republican, Democrat. If Trump was in there and he was this addled,
yeah, and
his team was saying, no, he's perfectly fine, y'all need to go to jail because this man has access to the nuclear codes.
Yeah, it feels like elder abuse just watching him up there.
It's such a It's such a dereliction of duty when it comes to being a good steward of the person who's literally the most powerful man in the world.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be mean to the man. I never thought in a million years that plagiarism Biden, the crime bill Biden, I don't want my kids to grow up in a racial jungle Biden, that I would ever have any empathy or sympathy for that man. But when I watch him bark at the reporters and I go, that's exactly what happens. They get angry.
Mm-hmm. Frustrated.
Because they're so frustrated because they want in that moment to tell this guy off and tell him how he feels, but they can't get the words. So they just, rah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. How do we get on that?
We were talking about the Super Bowl, and then
I
guess he was there.
Biden.
I didn't even know he was there.
Yeah, while we're on politics, though, I'm curious. What do you think about Tucker interviewing Putin? You watched it with me. I watched it. I'll just be honest. I watched it.
So if it's for what he said, obviously, to show us, okay. I like the fact that we're getting something from the other side of the pond or whatever we want to call it, just like the other side of the story. Whether it's true or not, who knows? But at least we're hearing something from that side. I think that we'd get a lot of different types of just like news stories from our people, like who we are in the United States and what they want us to know about the situation. And I feel like it's very brave of Tucker to go and do that. I just don't. I know that they're just giving him a lot of hell for doing it. Journalists used to be commended and like respected, and that was something very heroic to go across into a war-torn country or go to the enemy and talk to them, or just be in. I remember watching, like, was it Matt Lauer or somebody out in like the war zones, like reporting, right? Probably wasn't him, but I just remember that growing up. Journalists were out in the field.
I mean,
documenting the whole thing.
Hanoi Jane.
They're embedded journalists that are embedded with the military that will go and report.
There's been people that interviewed Fidel Castro.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think that they're giving him his due when it comes to just wanting to put what he thinks is the truth out there. We can make our own assumptions and our own ideas and conclusions about what the truth is. I think that I think we were listening to Breaking Points with Crystal Ball and Sagar. And they were just talking about how the journalists here, like the news media, everything wants to dictate and tell us what to think, as opposed to letting us make our own informed decisions about situations and what we need to, like, our own decisions about it.
Yeah.
I don't need someone, I'm an adult. I don't need a parent to tell me what's going on.
I think that's the thing that bothers me the most about it is I've kind of said this before. I understand politicians wanting to control the narratives. I understand that. I understand corporations wanting to control the narratives. Mm-hmm. I don't understand the citizens lining up and letting them do it. That's the thing that I don't understand about all of this. I expect people in power to attempt to abuse that power. I don't understand the people cheering it, right? Yeah. So when it comes to the Putin, all that, any information is good. Mm-hmm. When you're at war, let's be honest, we're in a proxy war with Russia through Ukraine. There's just no other. We're literally, how much money have we sent? That's the literal definition. He basically
said that. Mm-hmm. Putin said that on the interview.
It's the literal definition of a proxy war. We are funding their ability to go to war with this country, right?
He's like, don't you have anything better to do?
Right?
I know.
Yeah, don't you have anything better to do? So we're literally at war with them. So having any insight into what the other side, mm-hmm. even if it's just what they want us to think, we at least know how they want to frame it. It's right. It's information that we deserve. And I don't always like Tucker Carlson. There are times when I think he's an arrogant shit. I think sometimes he comes off very arrogant. Sometimes I do like what he has to say. I do admire his willingness to say whether it's whatever he believes it or he does.
I thought Putin was going to kick him out. I thought, do we want to have a serious conversation,
or
do you just want to do a?
Listen, I don't think anybody talks about this, right? But like at the beginning when he sat down and he started adjusting himself, mm-hmm. like the most gangster thing he did was take that watch off and lay it down. To like, for me, that's always been a sign of, well, I'm ready. Well, what? Don't come across.
I don't know the Russian culture at all.
Maybe it's a sign of respect, but it seemed gangster.
Maybe it's a sign. I know it is. It does seem gangster, right? But maybe it's a sign of like, all right, I got all the time in the world. I'm not paying attention to.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Hey, I'm not looking at my watch. Maybe that's it too. But for me, it felt gangster. Like,
all right,
I'm the one in the room, bro.
That I would be just so take this freaking scared.
Oh my god, I'm surprised he left there alive.
Can you imagine?
Here's the other question.
Is he alive? Is he back?
Here's the other question.
I think so.
You know what? Look at this. Let me show you how to do this. Right? What's that? Apple Watch Ultra? What is that? $400?
Okay.
Yeah, just sit it down, right? He just goes. I was like, that's $80,000 he just sat down.
Probably more than that. Who
that's
knows?
What it felt like, right? He just take this $80,000 watch off. I'll look you in the eye.
Depending on what model
ask
Rolex
me whatever you wish, Shelly.
I mean, it could be an $80,000 watch, or it could be
American components, Russian components, all made in Taiwan.
So, Super Bowl, that was cool, right?
Yeah. No, I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done with your politics?
No, I'm not. So, all right, I'll finish it up. But it is stunning to watch other journalists attack this man the way they've attacked him. Yeah. And it again, same thing like with COVID. My thing always is if they're screaming in your face something, assume that's a lie. If they're trying incredibly hard to get you not to hear or think a certain way, it's probably the right thing to think.
What's crazy is I feel that people think that they know that now since COVID, right? Since all of just like kind of like the No, I'm telling you right now. The people that I talk to think that they know that, right? Oh, I'm not going to get...
Oh, that's not going to happen to me.
I'm not going to get swayed by the media anymore. I'm going to like have my ears and eyes open and really pay attention to the details and the facts. But was it last week we were talking about this, or I don't remember. Maybe we were talking about this privately, but I just don't. Yeah, it was last week when I said there's so much news. It's like, what do you believe? Yeah. And then all the algorithms and things that go along with your social media, that if you aren't looking at different types of media, then you're going to be in that bubble still.
It's effort. It's a tremendous amount of effort to comb through different news media or non-news media, just commentary, to see what is the average that you like, what makes sense when you're looking at it from both sides.
She hasn't heard me get into too many social media beefs lately.
Oh,
right. Like sometimes I would get in fights on
go back and forth.
Right. But I would notice that now all I'm getting are those types of comments, right? Like, so I've got this rule now that if I go, that makes me angry, I want to respond. I just don't. Like if it gives me like a, that's stupid, let me say something, I just don't. And it's not because I'm afraid that first of all, I'm not going to convince anyone online of anything. You're never going to win that fight. It's not going to happen, right? I literally, okay, so I had someone pose a question, this was a while back, and they were like, oh, if there were 0 illegal immigrants in the country right now, how would that change your life, right? Like if all the illegal immigrants were forced out of the country, how would that actually affect your life? And so I laid out exactly how that would affect my life, specifically related to my job, what I do for a living, and how it would allow me to do certain things for the employees. And when I tell you that, this person proceeded to like literally say, that's not going to affect your life. I was like, well, it's my job. He goes, yeah, your job doesn't affect your life. So my point is like they were so adamant of just about being right that what's the point of this?
It's just cognitive dissonance.
You're never, there's no point. We're literally just going to keep going because I'm never going to convince you. You're never going to convince me, right? But if you interact with those posts in any way, the algorithm goes, oh, that he gets outraged by this. Give him more, right? So that he can scroll past those ads every now and then.
Crazy.
So you just can't interact with it. You just can't.
Yeah.
It's like affirming. It'll constantly affirm. And then as you are affirming your thoughts because you like it, you watch more of it because you like it. And it's like, I'm sure I do that all the time.
Makes me feel good about my place in society. Yes, this many people agree with me. I always assume like if a bunch of people agree with me, something's wrong. You know what I mean? Like if I'm in a room and like everybody in the room's like, yeah, and I'm like,
Are you a contrarian?
I don't think I don't know if I'm a contrarian. I assume if I'm because I'm so used to not.
He's so used to people not agreeing with him and going against the grain because he thinks completely differently than a lot of people.
Plus, it's the averages. My brain. So if there's 10 people in a room, we all agree.
Yeah.
What are you all drinking the Kool-Aid?
Something's going on here. We might conquer some shit tonight. We gotta back off.
Yeah. It's so crazy. The social media stuff and just kind of how people have changed the way they communicate. Even generally, right? Friends, amongst friends. The way my kids communicate, it's completely different.
It's interesting too. I almost don't ever answer the phone. Like if someone calls me, I'm like, oh my God, what? Like oftentimes I'm like, wait, where am I? Can I speak? I had a phone call today. I was at my office and I was like, where do I even go to have a private conversation? I had to find a conference room and I was like, this is so unusual. Text me. So much easier.
That is funny. Like back in the day, we would answer the phone. We didn't care who was calling. The phone was ringing.
You didn't know who it was. Yeah.
We didn't know. We didn't have caller ID.
Yeah, you just answered.
And
if someone was on the phone and you were waiting for a phone call, you were like, you got to hang up the phone. Like my friend's going to call me any minute. Yeah. My boyfriend's going to call me any minute. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah, before call waiting.
And when we all had one phone line in the house. and anybody could pick up like an extension and listen to your conversation.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because there was just one phone per house or whatever it was, phone line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The rich
Weird,
people,
right?
yeah, like the rich friends had like their own phone line in their rooms.
Where I'm from, the rich people had phones.
Stop.
I'm over here like, y'all have phones? No, I'm just kidding.
We did smoke signals.
I'm just kidding. No, it was different. I remember when American Online came along. I had to get all the free discs.
Mm-hmm.
Get knocked off. Get knocked off.
Someone
line,
called you.
Someone called through.
Yeah.
Remember what? You used to have to like pay for shit by the minute.
Yes.
Long distance, all that other stuff.
10 cents a minute was MCI or AT.
Yeah.
AT&T.
Do you remember when they used to have you dial like this long ass number? It was like, just before you dial your number, dial 1-900-9999 hashtag XX99
For free call?
432-5000. Yeah. And like it's always like we like take forever to connect, right? Because they would always be like, I just dialed this number.
What is that for?
It's to like bypass long distance.
Oh, I'm like, what are you
Do you
talking
remember
about?
like nights and weekends?
You could.
Yeah.
I remember you could program it into your phone.
Peak season, peak
Yeah, peak
times.
time.
Yeah. Don't call me after 8 o'clock. Hey, you better have something important after 8 o'clock. Remember you would run out of minutes? I'll talk to you in the morning.
Dude, the line would just cut off, disconnect.
Yeah.
But then they got smart, and when you ran out of minutes, they wouldn't disconnect. It would just keep going, and
It
so
would
your
charge you full
bill,
price,
yeah, your bill would just rack
God
up.
forbid you're in Jamaica. It's like
I
2,000 a
remember-
minute.
Oh my gosh! So I remember, I don't know if they still do this. I didn't recognize it with my son, but how when you turned 18, like all the credit cards, all of the things that you could do now that you're an adult, they would like swarm you, come through the mail. AT&T MCI had this promo going on, like buy one cell phone, get another free. And it had like 2 lines. And I remember like getting the phone and then like giving it to like one of my boyfriends, like giving the extra phone to like a boy I was dating at the time. And then when I broke, I was like, give me my phone back.
I'm going to cut your phone off.
But it just be costing so much money to have a cell phone.
And they weren't playing around either. So cell phone companies are gangster. Like they were going to, they're going to get their money.
Mm-hmm. They were coming after you.
You know, I had a long story, but a long time ago, I was dating this girl, and I was in love, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, we're gonna open a dual checking account. We're gonna get a checkbook together, and I didn't know her well enough, right? Obviously, huge mistake, right? Learn your lessons the hard way. So she wrote a bad check. When I tell you that it was 25 years later that I got a call about that.
What?
What do you mean? Where? How?
So
25?
right, well, let me explain. So I was young. It was like one of my first checkbooks, and it was on Wachovia.
Okay.
Right? Y'all remember Wachovia?
Wachovia.
Yeah. Wachovia. That's what everybody called it. That's what everybody called it. And so we had Wachovia, and she had written a bad check, and it bounced. And then because I had coverage on it, Wachovia covered the check, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I never knew anything about it. And then whenever I broke up with her, I just, that account had nothing in it. I just never thought about it.
You didn't close it?
I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
It was gone. Right? I don't know. I was stupid. I was a kid. And then I got hey, you have a bad check. I was like, what? So I went to the courthouse and I was like, oh, this ex that did that or whatever. So I just paid the check, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But Wachovia had covered it. So I had like a $25 fee with Wachovia.
NSF fee.
Right, that they apparently decided to turn over to a collection agency 25 years later.
First of all,
I was like,
why is this collection agency buying these old collections?
It wasn't going to hit my credit, obviously. It's 25 years old, right? I didn't know it existed, but when you get this letter, and I was like, what? Wachovia? Like who?
That bank's not even in business anymore.
Like how many times has this $25 debt been sold and sold and sold and sold? I bet that thing has been like resold to its like $1,000 is transacted.
They're just making money off of a $25 NSF fee.
Yeah. I always like it when you get the bill from like a dentist or something for 50 cents and you're like, Why even mail this?
Costs more money.
It costs more money to mail this.
So
I'll see you in a month.
right? So, not to change the subject, but to change the subject. I know that you guys have been, over the last couple of shows, we've been watching some documentaries, and we found this other documentary that just came out on Netflix.
You're talking cult stuff.
Yes. It's called Rael, Rael, and it's basically about this French guy who created a UFO religion.
He was visited by aliens.
Correct.
They told him the future.
Yeah. They told him. So there are some documentaries and some scientific like data that's coming out about like, or I don't know if I would say like data, but just kind of like philosophy, like a scientific philosophy about aliens and how aliens created humans, right? Either we're their slaves or they created us to kind of understand what they like, how they can make us be.
The most famous one of those is the story of the Anunnaki. Right,
the Anunnaki. But so they created us and they kind of watched us evolve. So this guy, this French guy, said that that's kind of what happened when he was abducted, took onto the ship. They told him that he was the prophet, like he was a prophet. So now he's Rael. His name was Claude something. And told him like the whole history of like how we were made and how these aliens made us and how they're going to come back to visit. And they're called the Elohim. And they like sing to the Elohim and like how one day, just like Jesus, they're going to come back and like take us back to the promised land or whatever. And so he wrote this book. He was, I don't know, he was probably like in his late 20s when he wrote this book. And he was, first of all, he was a French race car driver. He was a journalist. He was a singer. He was an actor. Like he had all of this artistic stuff behind him and pretty competitive. But he went on this show and basically told them that about the abduction and all of that. And people, and he wrote this book. And so people started to like flock to him.
Chuck's cracking up over there
because he thinks I'm telling a long story. You know, and then yesterday I had Chick-fil-A, but I didn't really know how to go get the Chick because it was Sunday, so I really couldn't get Chick-fil-A. So I was wondering, like,
Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get Chick-fil-A anytime you want.
My God.
You're the one who said Chick-fil-A, not me. I'm gonna change my Instagram name to Chick-fil-A.
So I was thinking about like this cult.
That's my new.
Closed on Sunday.
You all right?
How are you doing, sir? I'm doing well. What's your name? My name's Chick-fil-A.
You gotta say it's my pleasure.
It's my pleasure to meet you.
I'm just not on that level, I guess.
Okay. All right. I'm in trouble.
You good?
No, not really.
You're not in trouble.
That's all right.
I just want to make sure you're okay.
It's all right. Continue. You can't just let Chick-fil-A go. I mean, Jesus.
I really, Chuck Norris, Chick-fil-A, it really wasn't, it really just didn't tickle me like it did you.
I got you. All right.
He like literally is crying right now because he thought it was so funny.
Chick-fil-A is pretty funny. Chick-fil-A is pretty good.
I need to know.
We've got two good ideas today, okay, from the show. You got Chick-fil-A and then the objects in mirror are smart.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is going on a shirt.
I don't like it.
I love it.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
Mm-mm.
I just think you need to have it Chick-fil-A. It's my pleasure. Put on there. That's
my pleasure.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Have a good day.
My pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm sorry. So he created an alien cult. And he read the book and then...
No, he wrote that book and then started having followers. So it got to the point where he had like over 5,000 followers worldwide. And they were a part of the people that said that they created a clone baby or whatever.
Mm-hmm. A cloned human being.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But as the documentary went on and like you saw what they were doing, it essentially is the vow. And what was the other documentary that we saw that the mother
Love
god
Has Won.
It's all the same. It starts off with this guy who like wants this attention, and he comes up with this great idea about how he's this prophet all of a sudden. There's another one with the Osho about the Indian.
Osho, that's a good one.
Oh,
that
they
take this cult into Oregon and like create this town. It's older.
Oh, okay.
Watched this probably like 3 years ago. But anyway, all they do is he has this harem of women basically that like get undressed for him and like do all these seductive dances for him. So it's basically this guy that just wants to have this control over people and have all the women that he can eat. I mean,
Chick-fil-A. All you can eat.
I had to bring it back to that.
All you can eat for sure. All right, so listen. So it's interesting because all of them, it's pretty simple, right? You need a charismatic guy, good talker,
or woman, right? Because of that mother god one.
Charismatic, good talking person, secret knowledge, and they can give it to you. You just got to give them your money and let me fuck you. That's how it goes every time. I mean, every single one of these cults gets to a point where you're giving them your money.
Like the Nexium guy is the same thing.
Same thing, exact same thing. They were given 10%.
Yeah,
tithing.
They wanted, like, he had this what do you call it, when they do a model, like a model of like a house or whatever.
Yes, it's a model of the house that they were trying to build, the diorama or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So it's this model of this center that he was trying to build that was going to cost like 180 million francs, which is like the equivalent to like $205 million. And that was something that they could work towards. Like they had a purpose now. And so everybody decided to give 10% of their earnings to
build this,
to build it. And now he wants to go race cars again. So everybody like would sponsor him to go race a car. And a race car is not cheap. Like even if you don't own it yourself, it's what, $10,000-$20,000
a lot of money
for the day.
A lot of money. Yeah, so it just eventually gets to where he's got 30, 40 women that follow him around. There's two categories. You have the white feathers. Those are the elite of the elite, and they are meant to welcome the Nephilim or whatever they call them. Elims. What do you call it?
Elohim.
Aliens, when they get here, these women are for them, but they can have sex with him too. No one else.
No, the white feathers can have sex.
Oh, they can have sex with anyone.
Yeah.
And the aliens and him.
But
right.
The pink feathers.
The pink feathers are just for him and the aliens.
Yeah. They have to abstain other than that.
You get that pink feather.
So just like Nexium, do you remember Nexium with the sashes?
Mm-hmm.
This is the feathers. It's so
microtransactions.
Yeah, visual representations, categorizing.
Here's your gold sticker.
Yeah. And they all wore this this pendant that had the Star of David and the it's not Nazi symbol, but yeah,
something similar.
We've talked about the red dot.
It's actually a Hindu,
before, right?
You know, the Nazi symbol was originally a Hindu symbol
for peace.
Oh, yes, I did hear that. And then it got sort of not bastardized, but taken over. But it was a peaceful symbol. Yes,
it's tilted. It's tilted in a different direction. The Nazi symbol is than the original one. But it was when they started discovering that symbol all over ancient, like Tibetan stuff and all that. They're like, wait, what? But it's a symbol for peace originally.
It's so crazy when you think about it now, what it means, what people associate it with.
I know.
Have I ever told you, I think about the red dot, blue dot study?
Oh, for people? I think we talked about this a while ago.
Yeah, I'll do it real quick. But it's the reward system, right? You give somebody something and suddenly they think that means something, right? I have this pink feather. Now I'm special, right? And they demonstrated it because it's all tribal, right? Now you belong to a special tribe. You're safe, right? So there's a study that was done where they had 100 people, and as they were going into this room, they handed out dots randomly, red dot, blue dot, red dot, blue dot, red dot, blue dot, until they had 50 of each. And then they left them in there for like 45 minutes. And they're sitting there waiting for the study to begin, and it had not begun, or it had already begun, but they weren't talking to them.
Right. They didn't tell them what to do with it.
So 45 minutes in, the room had segregated based on the dots. Just some random dot these people were given. They had started to group up. Oh, you got a dot? Are you? Are you a blue dot? Blue dot sucks. I'm a red dot. You a red dot? We red dot. Red dot T. That's right. We're good. They don't know these people. They just happen to have a dot, right? So in 45 minutes, they'd already segregated. And at first, at about an hour and a half, they were just, milling around. No, they hadn't told them anything. And they were kind of, talking junk back and forth. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Y'all suck. Y'all suck. Oh, I bet the red team is going to do blue team. 3 hours in, they were literally angry with each other, yelling at each other. They had representatives, someone who had I'll talk for the blue side or whatever. I know what's going on. The study, they didn't give them any information, so they started trying to figure it out, and they grouped up based on their damn dots. Had figureheads and societies created within a 3 to 4 hour period with literally nothing in common other than just some random dot they were given. It's every time I think about that study, it's one of the keys to seeing inside people's mentality.
Yeah. We do that at work though, right? So
of course we do.
We'll group people up into groups randomly. And it's so funny how people that wouldn't have anything to do with the other person on a regular normal day will start to bond and like buddy up and like we're going to beat them.
Get serious for each other. When it's time to present, they're like hate each other.
Yeah.
Could be two people that hate each other within the company, but you put them on a team together and tell them there's a $10 gift certificate to Chick-fil-A at the end. Chick-fil-A.
Apparently.
Now all of a sudden, those two are like world beaters together. Mm-hmm. Oh, we getting that spicy chicken sandwich.
What's fascinating to me.
Spicy Chuck sandwich.
It's your pleasure, Chuck. What's surprising to me and fascinating to me is the notion that we have such a need to belong to a tribe to survive, right? So these people who are vulnerable to influence and are encouraged to adopt a new doctrine, way to think, surrender control, money, children, their whole lives, comes from, I believe, that very drive to belong so that you can survive. And the people who are vulnerable to that are people who have had either their personalities are predisposed to be extremely influenced and followers, or they are traumatized people from like horrible childhoods, choosing their family as opposed to being born to a family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting because these themes are so consistent.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think it's just how we evolved as humans.
Mm-hmm. That survival instinct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like people, going up on stage, the reason why we fear being centered out and like being the center of attention like that and kind of being up on stage in front of people is because that's what they used to do when you were ostracized in the tribes. Like they would put you on stage and like, throw rocks at you or, judge
Make
you.
Make an example of you.
Make an example of you.
Yeah. And, they didn't have DNA, right? So if you got accused of something and the whole group is accusing you of something, you could be standing up there completely innocent of something.
Like the Salem witch trial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like all of those were not even... Most of the people that were killed were not even...
It's normal.
Were normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they think that was ergot. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Yes.
I heard
that got into the grain. Yeah. The wheat. Which is which is crazy.
All these
we didn't know that back then.
Were killed,
Yeah. For something that was fermented wheat.
Yeah.
And it was a drug, basically. They're hallucinating, which is better than acid something. I mean, isn't that what ergot does?
Yeah.
That's what they said.
They think that it's actually responsible for a lot of like weird things that have happened throughout history. Like there was a dancing disease that happened in the Middle Ages, I think, where people literally just started dancing in the streets for weeks on end.
They would dance until they drop.
Yeah,
literally.
they couldn't stop, and they think they were hallucinating from our
That's
God.
not the same as the whirling dervishes, is it?
No, that's something different.
Oh.
No, these people could not stop dancing. I'm talking.
They were that high.
I'm talking 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, they probably lost a lot of weight.
Danced until they physically fell to the ground.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll bring up a documentary on it. It's interesting. But they obviously, they're possessed by witches.
Or I always think about people who are herbologists who kind of knew if I give a certain herb to someone, it will get rid of their pain. And then they're like, you're kind of like a Outlander.
Witch doctor.
Like Outlander.
Yeah.
Yeah, Outlander.
Yeah, that is a like as a book series.
I don't think I saw it. Did I? Did you see it? Did you read it?
It's also a TV series on I don't even know what network it's on.
TNT.
I don't think I've read that one.
It's it's about a woman who is able to travel through time. She was in the 1940s. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
in the 1940s, she goes to visit Scotland and she touches these stones, and then she's catapulted 200 years earlier, so into the 1700s.
Okay.
So it's kind of like Highlander.
Yeah.
But
similar theme. But and so she was also a nurse at the time, and so she knew things about herbs and medicine, and she was accused of being a witch doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Or having special powers and needing to be killed and made an example of. So good times, right?
Yeah.
I can cure your pain, but don't look too closely at what I'm doing, or don't suspect me.
I know. I was thinking, like, really, if we were to like be transported back into time, like from today back into time, I don't think that we would even know where to find the resources that we have.
Oh, we would have massive advantages.
I mean, we would have advantages, but there's still things that weren't yet discovered or, made.
Yeah.
That we have now, like penicillin.
People died of pneumonia all the time too, and things that are
birth rates were low. Like people would die. A lot of kids died in childbirth. Women died in childbirth. I get that, but still, we would still be way more intelligent. Mm-hmm. I mean, just think about the basic building structure knowledge we have over what they would.
Yeah, that's true.
I've always thought about that. It's something my weirdness. I was watching this thing on the Mayan civilization and how much bigger it is than people originally thought it was, and that we're probably seeing several representations of it throughout history. And they were showing this one huge temple that had just been abandoned for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And for some reason, my brain always goes to, man, imagine how many people could have, like, just some guy found that one day and lived there for 40 years. His life just living in this temple by himself for 40 years. I always think that would be cool.
Why?
I don't know. Just like this solitary, just you and nature, and all you got to worry about is the occasional leopard.
Nah, man.
No?
Nah.
Doesn't sound fun to you?
Not at all. I need human stimulation. Like, I think you need that to survive. No?
No, I mean, I do now, but I mean, if I was that guy, that'd be fun.
I don't know. Even like monks and, priests and like people that live in solitude don't really live in solitude. They have other people around them that they are doing this with, right? They're completing this mission together.
It's interesting. When we talk about, you brought monks, so got me thinking about cults again. I mean, really, religion is just an old cult. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's really what it is. Just a really popular old cult, because it's basically the same stuff, right? I'm this grand whatever, but I'm bad with money, so I need yours. Yeah. Right? I need as much money as you can give me. Matter of fact, I need it so bad I'm going to start taking it. That's pretty much how that works. And then, that's why, that's why they ban, do you know why priests are celibate in the Catholic Church?
Well, yeah, they're in the Catholic Church,
but
like, have you been to like a normal?
No. Do you know why priests today are celibate in the Catholic Church?
Did it have something to do with sleeping with the wives?
They were screwing them all. They were rock stars.
Yeah.
They were literally like Bon Jovi back then.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So all the parishioners, the men were like, hey, can you stop screwing our wives, please? I don't think it's very godlike.
But have you noticed that only is in the Catholic religion where they are celibate?
Oh, yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
No.
Like
Baptists like, just keep it quiet.
Don't dance. Don't drink.
Baptists are just like, shh, keep it down. Keep it down.
Oh my gosh. I just know, like, remember just like seeing a ton of stories about, you know, the preachers, the ministers, just like having these extramarital affairs.
Yeah,
Well, they have power.
They slanging.
Exactly.
They
Sure.
slay it.
What good's all this God power if you can't get some? I mean, what?
Let me bring it back. They got all that Chuck-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. There you go. It's going on a shirt. Chuck-fil-A. My pleasure. I bet I get sued.
You have the logo.
Probably.
I have to do something. Oh, yeah. I could even do the logo with like.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Chuck.
What would it be, though, instead of a chicken?
No, we're going to do something. I'm going to come up with
Oh,
something.
but you
for
got
sure.
the... Never mind. Yeah.
You get AI
got
to make
the
it
what?
for you.
No, I can't.
You can't say.
Mm-mm.
You about to be
This
bad.
other character that you have that's kind of like a chicken. The other
Oh,
character that
the
you
cool
have.
chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know if that was an anonymous character.
it's not really. So back in the day, I'm a big football fan. And when I did radio, I worked with some guys who were on the sports radio channel or whatever. Matter of fact, Matt Berry's on ESPN now. He's a really cool guy. Anyways, I had this character that I would do where I would call in as the cool chicken. And I was just like this overly annoying Gamecock fan. Like I would call in and like do, pep talks. But what I would do is I would take famous speeches from movies and make them about the Gamecocks, like I did, the one from Pulp Fiction.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, all that stuff.
Did they just love
No,
you?
they were. Yeah, we had a great time. It was all a good time. Like there was like 5 or 6 regular guys who did that kind of stuff. We'd all end up at the bar drunk, hanging out, and we got to go to events and hang out with those guys. It was a good time.
Yeah. It's funny because like after all, I met him after all of that. So when he would call into the radio show after that, they all knew him. So it was funny just hearing them say, "Yeah, Chuck, the cool chicken."
We got Chuck the cool chicken on the line. It's been a while. Yeah, I'm just out here doing everything the right way.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah. Where that character died, I'll tell you where that character died, and is when Muschamp got hired as the head coach at South Carolina. I couldn't stand him.
That was the end of that.
And boy, that character got mean.
Ooh.
You should see some of the videos I did, like just ripping this coach apart. It was hilarious. Anyways, all right, we'll move on. So I'll tell you one thing so obviously, congrats to the Chiefs. Sucks that the 49ers lost. It's a good game, but
Cool.
But I did enjoy some of the movie trailers. So there's actually some good movies coming out that I'm really excited about. Obviously, Deadpool and Wolverine. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on.
Oh.
I mean, I got Deadpool here, Wolverine here. I'm a big Deadpool fan, so I can't wait for that one.
Yeah.
But I like the new Planet of the Apes series too.
Yeah, I think that's going to be good. I like how they made it kind of like a female Tarzan in a way, but like opposite because the apes are actually now taking care of the girl.
Yeah. It's I like how they did it. This whole line that they've done with the new Planet of the Apes, the way they you get to see it go all the way to this point.
Were you ever into those movies?
I was not. Okay, so I am an old lady, and I remember watching Planet of the Apes when I was, 8 or 9.
The Charlton Heston one.
Oh, terrified me. I did not like it. I still don't like it. I'm just like, Planet of the Apes gives me anxiety.
That's hilarious because that's how our youngest daughter was about the Planet of the Apes movie because
she couldn't watch them.
We introduced it to her when she was around 9 or 10. And she was like, no. She was terrified of it. Now she won't ever watch it.
She won't watch them.
No, I'm the same. And I'm 100 years old. Like, it impacted me so hard back then that it just was the masks I didn't like at the time. The masks, I hated everything about it. I still don't like anything robotic. I don't like country star, like Chuck E. Cheese. No offense, Chuck. I don't like anything that is robotic that talks to you or moves. I have I don't know. I must have been severely traumatized. But that's also Planet of the Apes because they had masks on.
It's that uncanny. Is it the uncanny
it's
valley?
It's probably that. It creeps you out. Yeah.
Okay, so there's that, and there's one episode of Wonder Woman that I remember watching in the 70s. Yes, where Wonder Woman, Linda Carter, is fighting these women whose faces come off their robots.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like fembots.
I still think, okay, I guess. Is that what they were?
From
fembots?
Austin Powers, fembots. You ever seen Austin Powers?
Yes. Thank God I've seen something you guys have seen for sure.
Do you want to? All right, so you got traumatized by that. You want to hear? Still to this day. I mean, I'm a grown man, right? So I'm not gonna freak out or whatever. I realize what this is. I'm not gonna get. I don't go crying or whatever. But I cannot stand fucking clowns.
Me neither. I hate clowns.
I can't stand them.
They're not funny.
A, they're not funny. B, I'm like, you're a grown up. What are you doing? Right? Not for a movie. You're not on stage. You're just walking around like at a kid's house.
It is.
I don't know. It's the John Wayne Gacy was a clown and killed a whole bunch of people. There's just something about clowns that are it's very disturbing to me. What do you think of Cirque du Soleil clowns?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you the reason why
they're very acrobatic.
They're
acrobatic,
cool.
but I didn't know.
They're not up there
they're very
wearing goofy
athletic
stuff, going, oh, "Hi, kid."
Didn't we watch something on the Cirque du Soleil?
Just recently, yeah.
Like a small clip of
a guy learning how to do it.
Yeah,
his journey. So when I don't know how old I was. I don't remember. I was young, but I'll never forget it. That my mom took me to the circus, and unbeknownst to me, obviously, she signed me up to ride an elephant. And when I tell you that this clown was not in a good mood, he's on his third show today, right? And he grabs me and starts dragging us down this aisle. And I don't know what's going on. A weirdo in makeup just grabbed me. Mm-hmm. Mom didn't tell me this was happening. All I know is my mom just took me to this crazy place I've never been to, and a weirdo in war paint just grabbed me and is dragging me down an aisle and sticks me on top of this huge animal. I'd seen pictures of him. I had no idea what this is. And this whole time, he's just got his hand on my arm as they're leading us around, just death grip. Yeah, fuck clowns.
Sounds like a great experience.
No, I didn't like it. That guy probably never thought about me again. Doesn't even know I exist, right? Yeah, hey, dude, be nice to me. And Mom, give me a heads up.
But what's interesting is I've seen Planet of the Apes, the newer ones, where the CGI is so good that obviously it's not a bunch of weird old masks or whatever. But I still don't like the story. I don't know what it is about it. It just makes me feel sick to my stomach. I don't know. Dread. I don't know.
Of a lot of the different types of scientific, that's a realistic. That's possible.
Maybe that's why.
I think that's possible. I mean, genetically, it's I love Joe Rogan's joke. It's always been one of my favorite jokes, right? That hey, they mapped our DNA. We're 98% chimpanzee. Deal with it, right? If I gave you a sandwich that was 2% ham and 98% shit, would you accept that's a ham sandwich? We're monkeys. Deal with it. I love that joke. It's one of my favorite jokes. But yeah, we're 98% them.
Maybe that's why it bothers me.
I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's, for me, watching the Chimp Empire, that was crazy because they're not even talking. You don't know what they're saying, but they act like a tribe. And there's so many different levels of
communication like that.
It's interesting because I've been thinking about this a lot lately because when we watch that, I kept saying that's human behavior. That's human behavior. That's too human. It's not human behavior. we act like them.
It's animalistic behavior.
It's chimp behavior.
Yeah.
Our behavior is their behavior. We're not separate. And that, again, that's that leap I think most people have to take, is that everything
we're
is
the most evolved.
Everything's about us.
We're the best.
We are the best.
We are.
I mean, we won.
Yeah, we did.
We will
win.
fuck every animal on this planet up if we want. Right? So there's no argument. We're the top. All right.
All right. Well, it has been an hour, and
I don't want to be a dog. I saw a video the other day of a lady. When she would respond, she's wearing a dog mask, and she's sitting at the table on this panel with normal people talking, doing this. And when they would ask her a question, she would go, "Wolf, this is what I think." And I'm over here like,
is this real life?
No, it's real life.
Is that real?
I bet you're not interested. Are you interested in actual animals? Like when you're looking for a date?
Do you want wolf dog or?
Because you can't date a normal human. No, if you no. Look, if you are a dog, are you telling me you're a dog? You're a dog. You're not a human. You're a dog. Okay, get in your crate.
What the heck?
What, officer? My kid said they were a dog. The school told me I had to treat him like a dog. He's in his crate.
Now you're getting arrested for putting your kid in a crate.
I gave him farmer's dog to eat. He's good.
No, I don't understand.
I take him out in the morning. He shits in the yard.
Oh my God.
Gross.
I walk him at the dog park. The other dogs don't like it that much, but I'm hoping to breed them.
Oh my God. You did not just say the joke.
Jeez.
Wait, we have to end on something better than that.
Oh my God. All right. I took it too far. You know me. Oh,
I don't know
Lord.
what else I had on my list.
Well, this is one of the last shows, though, right?
It is.
Here at the Poorly Painted Studios in coming.
Yeah, the house is emptying out. It feels weird. Like if you were to walk through the house, it's stuff's going away. I've sold a bunch of stuff already, and as you can tell, the knickknacks are coming down. Paint stuff on the wall is going to come down shortly. Yeah, we're like 2 weeks away. I mean, we're supposed to be there first week of March.
Yep. So we've got one more show potentially here,
Yeah.
and that's.
Yeah. We got to get together on the 23rd at Hola Taco. We're going to say goodbye to some folks.
So if you're in Georgia, Atlanta, Roswell, Metro Atlanta area, and you're one of our friends, and you want to come say bye to us before we leave, because it will be in 3 weeks, like literally we'll reduce us out of Georgia, which is so insane to me. It hasn't hit yet, and I'm kind of in denial.
Oh, I am too.
And it just feels strange. That's why I don't know. This podcast has been kind of weird tonight because my head has like been in a different space.
We have been. We've been busy. We've got so much going on. We're packing the house up. Yeah. We're trying to move. I got selected for jury duty next week, which of course, worst possible time. I'm going to tell them, hey, like my permanent residence changes next week.
Right.
How long is this going to take? I'm not even going to be here for the consequence.
Some federal case. Anyways.
So yeah, I got that, and then we have a conference we have to go to. Then we have to do the full move. All while we're doing all of this. I mean, it's crazy, but we may have a 1 week or 2 week break in the middle. But we're going to try everything we can not to have too long of a break between podcasts. Before we get out there and talk, but hopefully we get to ride this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see. Be patient because number one, we are looking for a studio setup. So could be in the living room,
might be in the kitchen,
in the apartment, or could be in the kitchen. Who knows? So just bear with us. It could be where it's a month without a podcast. I'm just being realistic because life happens and work and all that kind of stuff too, and the move and all that. So. But if you are in Metro Atlanta, like I was saying, on the 23rd, which is Friday, not this Friday, the following Friday, Ola Taqueria in Roswell. Look it up, Holcomb Bridge Road, 7 p.m. until finish. So come say hi, come say bye.
Yeah, and really, really appreciate everybody here in Georgia for all you've done with us. I mean, it's been crazy the last few weeks talking to people and telling them bye and all that.
Yeah.
But you guys are going to be welcome to come to Texas. And we're not going to stop doing this. And you're not off the hook.
Oh, what? I like how you just threw that in.
You're not off the hook.
I will not be producer chaos anymore, though, because I can't produce things from far away.
It's all right. You'll be guest chaos. Permanent guest chaos. We'll kind of like do the whole kill Tony thing where she has a golden ticket. Just anytime.
Permanent golden ticket.
Permanent on the show.
Well, I got lucky. Thank you.
We got lucky. This has been a lot of fun.
Oh,
it has been.
It has been. I'm not ready.
Are we going to do or since we may have one more episode, just kind of do a whole talking about our time here in Georgia?
Yeah. Actually, our next episode will be on your birthday because that's
right.
the only time that we have available.
It'll be a special podcast.
Mm-hmm.
A very special episode.
The day after your birthday and on my birthday.
Yeah.
All right.
You get to celebrate it on the podcast.
That's right.
All right, guys. Well, remember to like and subscribe and please share. And we'll try to do some brief kind of in and outs here and there. When we get there, we'll kind of film, we'll do some video footage.
Whole new state to explore.
Yeah. Excited about that. Excited about new roads to ride. And I have all kind of ideas. So
yeah. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Sign us out, Z.
All right. Bye, guys.
Shine us out up. Like and subscribe. Peace.
Peace.